Hey YouTube, what's up? It's Andrew here. I'm going to be working on doing a stereo upgrade here on my boat over the next couple of days. To make a video for y'all, it's going to be a JL audio upgrade. I'm going to do 4 7.7s, the M series, 2 of the M880 tower speakers, and then 1 of the M 10-inch subs with a 800/8 amp, a Wet Sounds Bluetooth equalizer, and have it all tied in together so I can do zone controls. Here's a quick shot of some of the stuff I'm going in. I've got the JL amp over here, the 800/8 V2, the wiring kit for the 20-foot boat. Here is one pair of the 7.7. Like I said, I'm going to have 2 pairs of these. I'm replacing the 4 speakers that came in this boat that are 6.5s up to the 7.7s, and also I've kind of began trying to figure out where I want to put my tower speakers. Based on the seating arrangement of the boat, I'm trying to get it between the gap of the wraparound and the sheets for that way it's out of the way for everyone's head. I'll do more about that in here after a while. I just kind of got them placed in here now, checking it out. Talk more about that. I'm also probably going to put my 10-inch subwoofer down here on the inside of this right here behind the seat of the cockpit. I kind of go from there. That's what we got. We'll be back shortly. First thing I'm going to do is try to get my amp installed and then get the wires ran to it. And that way I can bring the rest of my speaker wires and all the rest of that back over to it. I'm going to be putting everything here on the passenger side of my boat. I'll show you that area. There, I'm sitting here in the front. These seats fold down, so I'm going to try to put it inside of here. That's where all the stereo comes in. I'm going to put it right there on that flat wall and just mount it to that. That seat flips forward, but also you have a door here that opens up to get in there below the stereo. Alright, so I got my amp screwed into place where I want it. Now I'm trying to run the wires up to it. I've opened the package. Trying to put the breaker here together with this. On this wire here, there's 2 ends to it. One end like this right here has the smaller opening on it compared to the other one. The smaller of the 2 here will be the side that connects to this, and that a larger side will go back to your battery. If you pay attention to this here, it's kind of hard to see in this video, but anyway, next to this stud right there, there's a spot that says battery, and here on the lower side there's one that says for the auxiliary. There, I got my other speaker out and got my new template here. I'm going to line it up to the old hole, get it traced out, and then attempt to cut it out. Alright, so what I've got going on, I got my speaker wire ran after I cut my holes out. Now this is speaker number 2 now. I got my speaker wire here. It's got the RGB wires as well. I'm doing these LED rings behind my speakers. So what I've done, cut to length, spliced them all together, added my ends here, and I've also put the heat shrink tubing on all of these to help give me a good, nice waterproof seal. I've got them here. I'm going to solder these pieces together and slide that up over it and then shrink them together. Alright, some more progress here. Like I said before, I had my tower speakers kind of mounted to show where I kind of wanted them, so I went ahead and drilled my hole here and have one coming out the bottom down here. Laid my tower forward, ran some wire. This here's weed eater string, something that's stiff enough that I could run down through there. Got it shoved out both ends. Same here on the other side. Got my other hole, got it coming through and out. Down inside of here, I got a hole drilled. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not. Kind of there. I'm gonna run my speaker wires through that hole. It's gonna go down behind here, and I'm gonna run it around. I'm gonna run that one down, and then run it behind and up to the amp there in the front. Alright, I got my wire in. Got it hanging loose here. So it's the Wet Sounds 6 strand. Coming in, coming down all the way down, coming in, going down, coming out, and then running up behind that speaker up to my amp underneath that console. Same here on the other side, got it in and out the tube, but I still haven't got to run it from exiting the tube across underneath behind through the engine bay back up and around. Alright, here's everything hooked up minus the RGB wires. Just got everything. I just want to make sure all the speakers come on and work for the moment. I'm going to have to go back through and clean some of this up. But anyway, that's all the wires run up here to the amp coming in. Alright, I'm getting towards the end of my install here. Just basically have the 2 tower speakers left, the M880s. Anyway, what I said earlier when I first started this, that I'll get back to these. They come here inside of these, screwed in. There's a wire. These are the clamps. Or anyway, before I put the clamps on, there's a wire that comes out of these. It's about a foot long, hanging out. Goes inside, comes in through here. There's a little plastic piece that has the wire glued into it with a clip, a retaining clip, to hold it into place. I'll show that here in a second. But me, I didn't want to have a bunch of connections made and then drop it inside of my tower and have the weight of those connections supporting the wire all the way through my tower. So I cut them out. This is the wire that came in there. I took and cut it off. And it ran down inside of these little plastic pieces here, with a retaining clip that goes here in this notch. Anyway, so I took them, cut them out, cut them off, and then drilled these out, and then over drilled them slightly because of the Wet Sounds wire I have is slightly larger than the JL wire with RGBs that came with these. I'm gonna run my wire through here. It's hanging out up there, run it back into here, glue these back into place, put them back in the tower cans, and then make all my connections inside of these. So I have less stuff exposed to the elements, no connections inside the tube of my tower there. Definitely all the bouncing around across the lakes, all that. I don't want anything coming apart, causing me problems. And this is the other stuff it comes with. You have the set screws here that came with the clamps. This is my other silicone I bought to put the pieces in, the end caps that go on so that you can orientate them as needed with your install. This is the retaining pin here that goes on with this little plastic piece here, the silicone that goes with the end caps. There's also some little butt connectors inside of there. I'm not going to use them. And those are my LED rings that are going on there and the old wire. Alright, so I took the bracket off, or the clamp off. This is basically what it came looks like. The wire sticking out, and then you have that black piece slid up and over it, and then it goes down inside of there, and then that was siliconed around here to hold it in place, and then that retaining pin, like I said, would be there on the inside to hold it in place. That's what I cut off and then drilled out just so we're a little bit more clear.